Well, hello and welcome back to my kitchen. If you haven't been to my channel before, I'm Vickie of Vickie's Country Home, and I live on 40 acres off-grid in the high desert in northern Nevada, and it has its challenges, but there's so many rewards too. And so I hope you take a look at my channel. I hope you go down and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and you will know when I upload videos. I try to do it twice a week, but I still have full-time business, so I can't always do that, but I try. Today, it's the day before Easter, and tomorrow at church, I'm going to have some cookies for our potluck. And these are so good, and y'all know I love lemon. If you haven't seen my lemon pie cobbler video, I'll try and put a link there. I'll definitely put one down below. That stuff is wonderful. So today I'm going to be making cookies with lemon, and they are so good. I'm going to take a recipe I've been using for a while. I found it, I don't remember when, but it was really good. But today I'm going to switch it up a little. So these are lemon cookies with ricotta cheese, and they come out nice and soft and just so tasty with a lemon glaze. But you know, and again, if you know me, I like to change recipes up all the time. And it just kind of popped in my head, why not add some fresh rosemary to the lemon cookies? Those two flavors go together, and I've never done this, so we're gonna find out today how that turns out. But I've got some fresh rosemary, I've got fresh lemons, and let's get started making these cookies. First thing I need to do is zest one lemon. And if you're not familiar working with lemon zest, it gives such an amazing flavor. It's definitely worth doing this. And you try and just get the outer portion, you try and leave the pith behind. Sometimes you'll get a little bit deep, but mostly you just want the very outer portion of the lemon. And that's what it looks like. Now I'm going to juice this lemon, and what we're looking for is 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. You may get it from this one lemon. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. But I think that's considered an average. I don't know, I usually don't measure. And then this is what we're using to give this such wonderful texture and flavor, is ricotta cheese. If you're not familiar with it, it's similar to kind of like cottage cheese. But if you make ricotta cheese, you can actually make it from your leftover whey that's left over from making other kinds of cheese, especially mozzarella. So I'm using 15 ounces out of this larger container, and then I will have leftover. But a smaller container of ricotta usually comes in a 15-ounce size, so you can just buy that size, but I plan on making more, so I bought the large one. Now we're going to need 2 eggs. Since this is new to my recipe, I need to chop up some fresh rosemary. And I'm not going to put too much because it's a strong flavor. I think I'm going to get a little bit more than that. You don't want it too tiny, but you don't want big old chunks either. At least I don't think you do, because again, I'm making this part up. So that's probably a tablespoon right there. Now I've got my mixing bowl with my stick of butter. And first I'm just going to start creaming that just a little. And to that I'm going to add 2 cups of sugar. And this is organic cane sugar, that's why it's a little tan in color. It's what I prefer to use. And I could have gotten out my KitchenAid to do this, but you know, that just didn't seem like it was worth it today. Now to this, I'm going to add my eggs, and one at a time. So I can pour one. Now to that, I'm going to add my ricotta cheese. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess, but I make messes always. Lemon juice, 1, 2, 3. So that was a pretty juicy lemon because I still got lemon juice left. And now to that, we're going to add the lemon zest also. And I like to get every little bit of it because that's just so much flavor. just going to make sure that's mixed well. And to that, we're going to add that fresh rosemary. You know, you never know where ideas come from. At least I don't. Just one night I was sitting there and all of a sudden this idea popped in my head out of nowhere. So I go with it. To that, I have 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of salt. And this is Himalayan pink, but you use what you have. Add those. I'm going to stir those in. And then we're going to add 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And I think I'm going to add a little bit at a time, get it incorporated. See, I told you I'd make a mess. Now I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees. And I've got 2 baking sheets lined with parchment paper. I just finished making a batch of my wild violet jelly, and I've got several batches of the wild violet vinegar over there infusing. I had a wonderful amount of wild violets this year, and I still had some left until yesterday, when the wild horses discovered that my husband left the gate open. And they also discovered there was a whole lot of those yummy wild violets. So about 15-20 head of wild horses came in and were munching on my wild violets. And I ended up rounding them up on my quad to get them to leave because they didn't want to leave. And there's a video on that, a very short one, but it wasn't how I planned to spend my afternoon. Let's go over to the range and I'm going to start making these cookies. This is a little leftover of my wild violet jelly. I made 12 4-ounce jars, a lot. So, and this was a little bit left over, so I just saved that for us. And here is some of my wild violet vinegar, and it's just looking amazing. You wouldn't realize it, but those little things taste so good. All right. I'm using about 2 tablespoons per cookie. I didn't really measure, but this looks like about that much. I'm really excited to see how these come out. And I learned to love this when I worked at the bakery, and we made huge batches of cookies in that great big old floor Hobart mixer. And it was huge. That thing was about 2 feet across in the bowl. It was giant. So I learned a few tricks when I worked there. I'm going to put these in my preheated 375-degree Fahrenheit oven about 15 minutes, but we want just the edges to be slightly golden brown. And we'll come back when they're out of the oven. Alright, here they are out of the oven, and if you can see, the edges are just slightly golden brown. And we're just going to let these stay on these baking sheets for 20 minutes. My cookies have been cooling for close to 20 minutes. So now I'm going to make the glaze. And it's really, really simple. We still have more fresh squeezed lemon juice, and I juiced and zested another lemon. So I'm going to take 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice and 1.5 cups of powdered confectioner's sugar. And it seems like there's not enough liquid, but it will be fine. And if it's not, I have more lemon juice I can add. And I think I will add just a little bit more. Maybe half a tablespoon. But it's going to be a thicker glaze. And then I have the zest of another lemon. So you're getting lemon on top of lemon on top of lemon. And the flavor is just so nice. Let's go get the cookies. A few of them barely were touching, and I'm just going to break those off. Hasn't hurt them at all. Let's make sure they're loose. This is what they look like. Now we're just going to take just a small amount of glaze and put it on each cookie, and we're going to spread it with the back of the spoon. You could put more or less depending on your taste. I'll probably do some with a little more and some with a little less, because some people like a lot of the glaze. Some people just want to taste the cookie. So I'm gonna just finish glazing these cookies, and then I'm gonna let them sit for a couple of hours before I take them off the parchment paper. So let me get to work and I'll bring you back for a taste. I roped them in, and this is not keto.
Oh, I know.
So here they are.
You know, sweetheart, those are really good looking cookies.
Thank you.
That's Purdue the mayo squeezing out of a Spam sandwich.
That's a real compliment.
You're welcome. They're
Get
really
a cookie
good.
and eat.
Really good.
I love the rosemary in it. It's really good.
Yep.
And the glaze has a really strong lemon taste, so that just adds to it. I love the rosemary. I'm gonna make it this way from now on. It's like cookies for adults. Kids would like them too, but these are grown-up cookies. So thank you for watching. We're gonna finish munching on our cookies. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share this with your friends. God bless, and I hope you all have a happy, blessed Easter. God bless.
See ya.